What is up, viewers? Time for another World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This is a replay submission sent in by Tank Warrior 2, a player on the Southeast Asian server. And yes, for those of you wondering, there are Tank Warrior 2 players on both the North American and European servers. Wow. I do not know if they are the same player, but this particular profile is coming from the Southeast Asian server, so something a little bit different. And it is also a little bit different in the fact that it is a Tier 5, a T-34 medium tank, one of the most famous tanks of World War II from the Russian army. Now, this map is going to be Erlenberg, I almost forgot what it was called, and it is an encounter battle. So for those of you who don't play encounter battles, maybe not entirely familiar with the type of game mode, it is basically there's one base on the map, both teams have to fight over it, or just kill each other. I mean, that's the way you win World of Tanks in general, is just kill everyone on the enemy team. Now, this particular player, Tank Warrior, I'm just going to call him Warrior, he's noticing a lot of his teammates heading to the 1-2 line, so he decides, well, I'm going to be useful and trying to reinforce the not-so-enforced flank. If you are taking notice of the tiers of this match, you'll notice it is mostly Tier 5 vehicles, a couple Tier 6 per team, and very few Tier 4s. So definitely the Tier 5 is going to be the movers and shakers in this match. The T-34, I don't have personal experience with it. I actually skipped right to the KV-13, that's the one I was thinking of, Tier 7. I jumped over from the heavy line over to the medium line, so I'm currently working on my KV-13. I have no experience with this tank. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to perform. I don't know how well it does. However, its average gun penetration is going to be 112 with 85 damage per shot. And so that's decently respectable for a Tier 5. That's certainly going to be more than suitable for a Tier 5 match. I do not know if this vehicle is fully upgraded, but I'm assuming that it is mostly so. Enemy team definitely got some Russian steel on the enemy's forces, the Type 58, which is kind of very similar to a T-34-85. It's just more or less the Chinese variant, at least from what I've been able to gather. And the enemy team looking like they have some KV-220s. No, a KV-1 and a KV-220. They look very similar in tank icons. First blood going to the enemy team, managing to take out that 30-01P. So looks like Warriors team losing their Tier 6, one of their very key Tier 6s. Very early in the match. This KV-220 looking like he's driving out, looking to see if he has any shots on that T-25. Not the case. KV-220 still hanging its butt out there, and he will get lit on fire for that. He's burning away, and I am going to say right now, first kill, significant kill for his team, and that is going to be that KV-220. The enemy team still having the majority of their tanks, a tank and hit point advantage going to them, of course. And it looks like this Matilda definitely has some hard-to-penetrate armor for Tier 4, and some Tier 5s, especially Tier 5 scouts, have trouble penetrating it. Although, I'll take that back, the Elk AMX, very good gun, very good penetration, won't have any trouble penetrating a Matilda, but still, looks like right here, Warrior not having much trouble penetrating it either, trying to support his team, using the T-34 in much of a sniping capacity. It looks like he's getting sniped right back, and definitely getting shot by that Matilda there. That is one of the benefits of having these hit mods, and it lets you know what shot you and with what they're shooting you. So T-58, if he actually can do some significant damage to that vehicle, that'll be huge. Looks like that Tier 5 Russian tank destroyer, the Toaster, as so many people refer to it as. I'm not sure what the actual name is. It's a lot of shortening of names. But right here, he is pumping a significant amount of lead into that Type 58, and he may get the kill. There we go. First, really significant damage of this game for his team, taking out that Tier 6. Looks like that Stug 3 getting destroyed as well, and it looks like this AMX-40 trying to push up on this T-34-85, but Tier 4 versus Tier 6? Yeah, Tier 6, of course. Definitely not going to work out. The Electo, another Tier 4 vehicle, coming in to try and help his Tier 4 ally, but it's only going to result in his death. Right here, ooh! A non-penetrating shot, only a critical. There we go. 2 kills for Warrior, and his team has very quickly recovered the lead on this match. You know, they started out with a bit rough, but right now they are holding a solid 4-tank lead. The Matilda trying to push up and take out this very hurt T-34-85. The Chi-Nu even coming up on him. The Chi-Nu, a very solid, a very reliable Tier 5, but not when you play it like that, just blitzing into danger in the hopes of getting maybe 1 kill, but even he didn't do that. The the T-25 ally managing to get the kill on him, the M4 killing the enemy T-34-85. Got my T-34-85s mixed up a bit. So the enemy team very, very quickly losing their lead. This T-25 almost certainly going to die right here. Tank Warrior missing that shot. He's using auto aim. Maybe he should have been using the actual manual aim to ensure that hit. That's one of those situations where I probably would not have been trying to drive and would have been manually aiming, because that's a guaranteed tank kill, and you're really not going to dodge all too many shots driving around like he did most of the time. And he still has enough hit points left. He can take 1 or 2 more shots, especially from the remaining enemy vehicles, the KV-1 and the AT-2. If I recall, the AT-2 does have decently reliable frontal armor and a terrifying DPM. So him charging it from the front, probably not a good idea, but he also has that T-80 going in first. He has allies hitting it from the side, because they have pretty much won that 1-2 line. And the enemy team really just struggling at this point. There is no hope of victory. 901 hit points remain. The allied team managing to get on the capture as well, just get some capture points, or some loser points as some people refer to them as. I personally don't refer to them as that. You know, if someone wants to hop on cap and get a few capture points while the rest of your team kills the remaining enemies, that's perfectly fine. There we go, 4 kills and a significant amount of damage. Over 1,500 damage done here by Tank Warrior, and managing to definitely demonstrate that the T-34 in a Tier 5 match, solidly reliable vehicle. He was firing APCR there for a lot of this match, so that does explain why so many of his rounds were penetrating reliably. Penetration on those APCR, 189, so definitely very reliable, but at the end they're having to go back to AP rounds and finish off that KV-1. So a very solid game from Tank Warrior 2. Definitely demonstrating that if you're willing to pay the money, premium rounds certainly do go a long way on penetrating tanks that you might not otherwise be able to penetrate. And just overall demonstrating that, you know, even his stats are average. I looked him up on Noob Meter, or was it Watt Labs? It was Noob Meter. I looked him up. Average stats, you know, he's a decent player. He definitely has a handle on this game. He's better than a lot of players I come across. His overall stats might not demonstrate it, but his recent game stats show that he is average. So he's certainly having a handle on this game. He only has 2K or so games, so he's definitely on his way to becoming a good player. But let's just go see those post-game stats and see how well he is doing in this particular match. All right, and here we go. Mastery Badge Ace Tanker, very solid performance there. Anytime you heard Mastery Badge Ace Tanker, managing to damage a lot of the enemy team. If he had not actually gotten the kill shot on many of those, he might have managed to get a Confederate, but still very impressive considering how much damage he did. Which I'm trying to get that sorted. There we go, 2015. Wow, how appropriate considering the new year is right around the bend. The enemy team, the person with the most damage, not even close to that. That enemy team just sorely performing. I mean, if the tank difference wasn't enough at the end to indicate that, them only getting a total of 5 kills. And going to the more detailed report here, definitely running a premium account and still earning a solid amount of credits. Even if he wasn't, he still would have earned a solid amount of credits, despite the number of APCR rounds he ended up firing. But still, it was towards vehicles that a lot of the time he probably would have had some difficulty penetrating. He just wanted to make sure he was getting the damage out. And hey, if that's the way you're going to roll, if you want to get that damage out and try and help your team to win, I know a lot of people hate on people for using premium, but in the end, if you want to use premium to try and increase your chances of winning and pay those extra credits and just grind out those credit earning tanks, the premium vehicles, a little bit more to pay those resupply costs, that's your decision. I mean, I'm certainly not going to complain when those players are on my team, helping my chances of winning by firing those APCR, those heat rounds. It's certainly one of the things that's in the game, and you just kind of have to get over it if you have a problem with it. Do I advocate using premium rounds as a regular? Not really. It doesn't really teach you to aim for weak spots as much. It doesn't really teach you how to reliably pen vehicles, because even if you're firing those premium rounds, if you're firing at the most armored part of a tank, there is still a chance you're going to ricochet. So even with premium rounds, I strongly advocate aiming for weak points, and nothing teaches you how to aim for weak points like standard ammunition. But rant over. Still, very solid performance. 43 shots fired, 31 direct hits, and 27 penetrations. We already know the damage, and a little bit of damage due to players' assistance, but certainly not really using that medium tank in much of a flanking role as we are commonly used to seeing. I do believe that's just because he is still learning the medium line. Again, only 2K something battles, still learning the game a bit, and certainly in this case it was more than enough to use it in the sniper capacity. So, and he was using APCR, which meant he could function in that sniper capacity. So certainly he knew enough of what he was doing to make a difference for his team and help them towards their absolutely crushing victory. But I guess with nothing else to say and post-game stats being reviewed, we Remember, if you like this video, be sure to click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you've got a replay, be sure to check the description below for instructions on how to submit. Remember, with 9.4 and onward, I am becoming a little more scrutinous. I'm definitely being a little more selective in which videos get uploaded to my channel. This is definitely one of them. It was a solid performance. But if you've also got any criticisms or suggestions on how I can make my videos or channel better, please be sure to let me know in the comment section below, or if you just have something random to say something random, I don't care. But until next time, this has been Spang, and I am signing off.
MLG Dynamo.